Hi, my name is Elle Opacho, I'm 19 and I'm a filmmaker. And if you're on this channel, you basically like all things film, tips and tricks, growth, a day in the life of a filmmaker. That is basically what this channel is. So welcome, but more specifically, you have entered this video because you have noticed how hard it is being a filmmaker. And that is what we're going to talk about today. I love being a filmmaker. Being a filmmaker is the bomb. I love it so much, but it is hard. It is so hard, and for all you people who have come here today and just know how hard it is, I'm so sorry, but you're also doing a great job, so well done. I'm gonna go over the main reasons why I think film is so hard, from my perspective anyway. Me personally, I think there's about 4 issues that really get to me, and that is expenses. It is that there is no sort of quantifiable way of saying you've done a really good job. Number 3 is emotion. You have to be emotionally available in your films all the time, and it's so hard because sometimes you don't have it in you, but you have to put that in your film. Number 4, it's niche. It's a niche area to go into in the aspect of society doesn't necessarily push you towards becoming a filmmaker. They push you towards becoming a doctor, a lawyer, fair play. But filmmaking is a very particular topic of the arts. You could do drama easily, you could do art easily. Filmmaking's a little bit harder, you know? And we're not even going to talk about technical issues. I'm not even ready to talk about that. That isn't even on my list today. But those 4 things, I would say, my tops of why filmmaking is so hard. Being a filmmaker is so hard. However, not to be so negative, this isn't going to be a negative thing. This is just sort of an understanding video, because as much as it is hard, it is worth it, because the products that you come out with is you, it's raw, it's beautiful. Number 1, expenses. Probably the most obvious point of why being a filmmaker is so hard. Because if you don't have the money, a lot of people think that you can't do it. You can do it. Trust me, you can make good quality films without spending loads of money. I think quality filmmakers know that too. However, if we're talking about freelancing seriously or going out to projects which you've been commissioned to do, that's where it gets a bit harder. For me personally as well, I've suffered a lot with this issue. For example, you need gear, but the gear that you need will always have a follow-on item. For example, if you have a camera, you're then going to need a tripod, you're then going to need a light, you're then going to need a microphone. It just goes on and on and on with film. Obviously, these are all optional and you can borrow and rent and actually buy. Bottom line, if you're making movies like Steven Spielberg, you're gonna need the dosh. And it just, I understand. And I'm sorry for everybody who spent all that money out there. My heart goes out to you. There are ways around it. For example, I went and got a media marketing manager job. I'm an investor in multiple countries. I'm invested in over 70 companies. Number 2, there is no quantifiable measure to tell you if you've done well in a film. Now, this is so hard to accept when you've done well, or accept when you've done bad. As a filmmaker, as all artists, as all people who do something that you can't get a tick for in a little box to tell you how well you've done, it's hard, because I know that especially as a filmmaker, you will be hard on yourself. You will want things to be perfect because this is your creation. This is your little you in a film. And one thing I would say to take away from this, if anything, practice self-worth. And even if it's a really bad film that you've done, be proud of yourself that you took the time, you took effort, you took creation, and you made it. That was all you. You, even though it came out bad or it came out fabulous, take the time to acknowledge that you gave the time. And the more that you give yourself positive reinforcement, the more you're gonna go, okay, that was bad, that was good. You're gonna become more professional about the way that you evaluate things, and it's gonna lead you to become a better filmmaker. Number 3, emotion. Oh my gosh, honey, whoever's at the end of this, if you've ever done a film where it's happy and you're really sad, the two do not work. That it's so challenging, and I'm so sorry if you've had to go through that yourself. But there are ways to get around it. Now, what I've discovered is that you have to have a separate project where you either write, draw, film, photograph, any artistic outlet with your emotion somewhere else. For me, this worked personally because I felt like I was true to myself. I got it out in the way that I wanted to, and I separated that because I saw it as another project, as my emotion of sadness into something else. It allowed me to separate the two feelings, so I was able to focus on my happiness for that project. I really hope that makes sense, because I feel like that doesn't make sense and I don't explain it well, but try it. Number 4, filmmaking is niche. And what I mean by this is that the government doesn't necessarily promote filmmaking in a mainstream way. Now, I know filmmaking is sort of hard to have as an upkeep because it's so technologically advanced for maybe younger people to get a hold of like the equipment. Not that they couldn't do it, because they definitely could, but it's all that time and money put into those programs to make sure that things run smoothly, as well as insurance, because the equipment that they'd be using would be really expensive. Now, it is hard for people who, like me, wanted to be a filmmaker and their school had no idea of where to push them or what connections or how to look after them in their creative mindset. So I understand that it's really frustrating if you want to get into the world but you have zero contacts. And trust me when I tell you, I had zero contacts, but I still have managed to weasel my way in a little bit. However, there are ways to do it even with zero connections into the industry, and that is make your own connections. Now, I know that sounds really dull because everybody's like, yeah, go out and meet people, but get serious about your life. Get serious about it. Start building yourself on social media and cyberspaces all over, because that is the way that the world is going. Get with the technology, it isn't going to stop. Next, start making yourself professional. Build yourself a portfolio, even if it is reaching out. For example, what I did was reach out to people via Instagram, young artists or artists who don't have music videos to their music, and I go, oh hey, can I do that for you? And they go yes, and then you go do it, and you've created something beautiful from your own wits. And I think that is the best way to start, to be honest. I don't think you should be riding on other people's backs to get into the industry. I think you need to prove to yourself that you're a great filmmaker. You can make that connection. You can be responsible enough to set something up with someone and do it. That was a lot of seriousness, and I'm sorry about that, but it's important because I believe that you should chase after your dreams, and you should. I should have more on that, but that's it from me. I think that you should. We only have one life. Take it. Make the most of it. Anyway, have a chill time and peace.